Today is April 15th. We are talking with manager of the New York Yankees, Aaron Boone, about all things Yankees baseball. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy.
John Boy and Jake.
Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. We got BBD in the corner. It's brought to you by SeatGeek. We got Aaron Boone on the show. We've got some fun conversations that we had with him. Afterwards, we're going to choose our best beards after we talk to Boone. And also, I have a scouting report for everybody on tonight's game after the show. So that's something. Jake, how are you doing?
James Davis, doing well. Nice win last night. I mean, kind of one fun inning, but
Bang, bang, bang,
I
bang,
like
bang,
one,
bang.
I like one fun inning. Murderers Row 3.0. Trent, Benny, and Wells.
The lefties.
Lefty.
I felt bad for our guy Seth Lugo.
Okay.
Because he is one of the first players that I recall that followed warehouse games and was into it.
Yeah.
And the Royals' whole clubhouse is they're kind of in because Waka, who's pitching tonight, also follows everything and talked to Chris Rose.
Vinny P's one of our guys. We got some good spies on the Royals, but let's beat their ass at baseball.
Yeah. I think because the warehouse games were on Bally's and they had Bally's on in the clubhouse, so a lot of the Bally's
Ripple.
guys followed. So I did feel bad for Seth Lugo, but maybe
I did not.
Maybe he was happy because Josie McFly got his first ever strikeout.
Whoa.
Ever.
Whoa.
If anyone's wondering, the moment that I was talking about last episode that I got winded from, I ran 4 laps.
Yeah. It's powerful.
Might not be his first ever strikeout, but first ever looking strikeout.
So that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. Today's Bantering with Boone is brought to you by T-Mobile. T-Mobile's got the best 5G coverage in the game, so no matter where baseball takes us, whether it's a series out in Seattle or a stop in Kansas City, we are staying connected. You stream it on your phone, which I enjoy because a lot of these night games are during bath time for me with the kids. Yeah. So I put the phone on the counter. I listen. I was able to watch Jazz hit a homer and then bite his hitting coach, which we do ask Boone about in this interview because I was able to stream it with T-Mobile. They also have Magenta status, which means you are leveling up your away game experience, talking perks like discounted tickets to select MLB games, deals on hotels and rental cars, and free in-flight Wi-Fi. So definitely take advantage of that. We are doing so for our Derby trip this year. Whether you're in the warehouse, the dugout, or watching from 30,000 feet up, T-Mobile's got your back. So big thanks to our partners at T-Mobile for keeping us connected and being part of the Talkin' Yanks crew this season. Learn more at T-Mobile.com/MLB. Welcome back. Boonie's with us. We missed you last week, Boone, but all those day games in Detroit really screwed everything up. Hope you enjoyed the freezing cold weather. It was
it was 5 straight really cold days between 3 in Detroit and then the first 2 against the Giants at home. Actually, the first 2 Giant home games honestly made Detroit feel like a nice spring day. Like it was that first night, second was pretty miserable, but such it is in the Northeast and Midwest, those April, you never know. One day you think summer's around the corner, the next day it's brutal. So hopefully just continue to put that behind us, but it's also fun to kind of grind through those too.
I'll open with this then. Those cold games, bone broth in the dugout.
Bone broth.
Who's consuming the most bone broth in the dugout?
I don't know. I saw the same thing. I'm not, but
okay.
I did see a picture of the bone broth down there. So I don't know who's consuming that.
Hey, and I'm
to get that.
I'm gonna have some odd lines of questioning today about Jazz Chisholm, but
That position.
I want to start with We heard about his hot tub before the game, and Boone, I don't know. We're just think that's everything. A couple guys that grew up in the Northeast, it feels like. I mean, Jimmy threw out he should go in the freezer before the game, so the jacuzzi feels backwards.
Also, jacuzzi meaning, and then you go out in the cold.
He said he's going in the hot tub before the game to acclimate
way.
to the cold, which is every high school coach that I
Nightmare.
ever had would have beat me up. We had a strict no hot tub before games when we did the hockey road trips. So it's just bizarre.
Yeah, but I think the hot tub there's a therapeutic thing about like warming the body before you go out there.
True,
So-
but then the cold is colder, you know? It's like donuts. Lance Lynn used to wear hoodies.
Hey, I'm a cold shower in the morning. So
Me too. Opens the pores.
Yeah.
I'm not. If we're just
Yeah,
everyone's
kinda-
putting it out
you're
there,
jazzing it. One more prologue before we get into all the good stuff to chat about. Just one bone to pick with you. I gave you a scouting report not to pitch to Grichuk, and you pitched to him, and I just felt betrayed in that moment. He hit a double, first pitch, led to 5
I
runs.
actually thought about you when he doubled.
I was like, God damn it!
Well, I'm like, what are we supposed to intentionally walk Randall Grichuk here with?
Guy crushes us.
bounce a couple.
He's I like Grichuk.
Good for him.
I like Grichuk. Good for him. Anyway, the first topic that we talk about, you've been bringing this up a lot. I just wanted to know if there's any more like meat on the bone or to flesh it out. The walks. Yankees walking 4.5 batters a game, and obviously you've been addressing it, so it's a known thing. But I was wondering if there's any specific thing that you think is attributing to it, or if there's a specific path and solution that you guys will work on. Is it more nuanced than just throw strikes?
Yeah. I mean, it is probably more nuanced than that, but at the end of the day, we got to do a better job in that regard. Like 4.5, we have to be better than that. We got to cut that down. Look, we have a lot more kind of different looking pitchers this year that get more swing and miss. Yet we don't really have a lot of overpowering fastballs necessarily. So, but that being said, we just got to do a better job with the walks, and feel like we will over time. And, hopefully with that, we'll start to see us kind of get more settled as a staff too.
Do you think as it becomes a kind of a talking point and continues, it goes into the scouting report? And does that make it tougher? Because
I think everyone's always in the scouting report. Like, but that's more of an individual thing. Like, hey, this, you're going up against a guy. Hey, make sure this guy gets in the zone. He's, so yeah, absolutely. Those things get talked about.
Yeah, because for the guys that generate swing and miss, like Stroman in his start, Warren he likes swing and miss on balls that end up out of the zone.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, even Williams, we're seeing just much more patience in these at bats. While people know he's kind of going through finding his form. So
Yeah,
as a pitcher, it kind of becomes
a
harder.
lot of it. Strike one's important. Over the long haul, like getting strike one's going to set you up to be in a better position. And I don't think we've been terrible in that regard, but over the long haul, hopefully that's something that serves you well. Dictating counts, obviously, then that's going to set you up to get chase. But gaining count leverage is a big part of the game. So we got to do that.
For the lefty righty thing, it's funny doing the past couple years where 2 years ago we had teams like shuffling their lefties to not pitch against us, to now we're seeing every lefty that teams have. I guess there's a couple combos out of that, but the first one that I think's tighter is Peraza. Like the Oswalds, they had a nice situation going. It was almost every other day. Let's run it out there to start the season. We're coming up in a big righty lane. Is there anything there for Peraza that we're just going to play lefty-righty? Is there anything, his defense might be a tick up, so maybe if there's a ground ball guy, we might try to get him another day? Because otherwise we're coming into a pretty big righty lane after Bubic.
Yeah, but if you look at the righty lane, they're like starting tonight with Waka, who's pretty neutral, but actually a slight reverse. So actually Peraza's starting tonight. And then every day and then the lefty, we get tomorrow, Bubic, he's a reverse. So I'm more inclined to have some of my lefties stay in there,
Gotcha.
And then in Tampa, I think all 4 guys we get are all very neutral, to even reverse. So this is a little bit of a unique week in that regard.
But I guess if it's neutral, do you guys think Peraza has like a leg up defensively at third? And I don't need that to be a shot at Waldo. I just think Peraza is really good.
I view them both as outstanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
With righty lefty talk, Grisham hits his 4th homer of the year last night. He's off to an incredible start.
Man.
He jumped and celebrated after he crossed home plate, so I felt a little bit betrayed there. I like the more very boring celebrations, but I'm happy for him that he's feeling happy. How do you balance Grisham is also, in his career, he's done really well against lefties, and the last 3 seasons especially. How do you balance developing Dominguez from the right side and making sure he gets enough reps to not abandon switch hitting, but also letting Grish go eat while he's hot and doing the best, putting your best foot forward for the team? What goes into all those decisions?
I mean, that falls under the good problems to have, right? Want JD to keep getting the reps. You know, I've picked my spots here with Belly a couple times. That kind of gets Grish in there a little bit. You know, at some point, Rice will get a day and Judge will DH, and that's another. So Grish isn't in there tonight, but he'll be in there tomorrow against Bubic.
Okay.
You know, yeah, I mean, just trying to make sure these guys who definitely deserve a lot of playing time are getting a lot of playing time. So it can be a little tricky sometimes, but it also, you know, especially as you're in April here and the early months and you're in your first like long 13 in a row, like it allows you to give a guy a day here because you got a really good option sitting over there that deserves to play, and try and keep guys regular, but also rested a little bit too.
Switch hitting is a pretty interesting thing because if you can do it and you're doing it well from both sides, it's obviously like immensely valuable, especially Yankees history, Posada, Teixeira, Bernie. You can go down the list.
Mantle.
Yeah, Mantle.
Good one.
But we've seen with Oswaldo recently, a couple years ago, Cedric Mullins in Baltimore, guys kind of abandon it or do it less, like you guys were good pick and choose last year.
I forgot that now that you say that Cedric was a switch hitter.
Well, when you're better from the left side versus righties, it kind of makes sense. You see more righties. So
yeah, definitely.
With Dominguez, and again, all these questions are within the context of we're 16 games into the season and he's 50 games into his career. But like, how does that thought process? When does it become a benefit to a hindrance? Switch hitting. Did you ever mess around with it, or like in your career, have any players try and abandon it? Or it's such an odd thing to me.
Yeah, probably. Well, did I ever play it? When I was 11, in Little League, every other at bat was left, right, left, right. And then we got to All-Stars and I went all right. I actually did all right left. Anyway, but yeah, there's been guys that have experimented with it that I know scrapped aside. JT Snow, was a switch hitter a lot of his career and then went all left-handed. So it does happen. I don't think we're anywhere near that. Like you said, like JD's very, very young experience-wise in his career. And so, so that really shows up on the right side where he hasn't obviously faced that many. So, I think he's got a chance to be really good from both sides. So we got to have a little bit of patience with that too.
Yeah, I guess one zoom in from last night, like we view everything from the fan side of things that we hear. Belly's back. We've heard that for a little bit, and cold weather, travel, all of that. And Dominguez, he kind of puts on his first show in left field a little bit. You've been hyping him up, and he lived up to it. So I guess Yankee fans were a little surprised when Belly came in as the defensive replacement, which is a little ironic because we supported that earlier in the year. But I guess from our end, it's kind of like, hey, the young guy did it for a night, and now he's getting subbed in for a guy with back stuff. Yeah.
I mean, the back stuff's a little overblown. I mean, he's fine and a fully active player. I'm just being mindful of it as he kind of works through it here early in the season. And, like I said, like Grish is obviously playing really well. So I have good options. So I don't want to push through anything right now when I feel like we're in a good spot in some positions. As far as JD, look, I just love he's getting better and better, and the development is there. And I don't want to alter that because one game I pull him because he made a great play, or if he doesn't like there's a method to it all, and trying to use our roster the best way possible while also continuing to be mindful of people developing too.
I have some fan. It's almost like I could just be, it's positive, but I could just be putting these into the ether because I want to believe it. Judge has not been getting pitches to drive lately, and he is in return not really driving them, but still hitting the ball all over. That inning, the fifth inning in game 2 of last series, when you had 5 singles in a row off Hicks third time through.
Oh, right. Yep.
I thought that was such an impressive inning. We didn't see a lot of that last year. I think the lineup is so much deeper. You had Goldie go the opposite way. You had Judge pull an inside pitch. You had Dominguez go outside.
2 strike hits.
Goldie hasn't really been hitting for pop. He's hitting line drives, just spraying the ball. Is there anything to Judge and Goldie and these power hitters when the lineup's deeper? They're able to say, well, I don't need to hit a homer on this pitch. I can just take that to where it goes. Do you think there's any sense of these?
I don't know. There's always the rhythm of the game that day and what's going on that night with the pitcher and approach and what you're trying to do. And then situationally, there's things, like I've definitely seen like Goldie in situations where, it's sack fly situation or a runner on second, 2 out situation. Like, there's definitely an approach there that I've seen from him that, is impressive. It's very hitterish, a lot of hitability, so that's been good to see. That inning was great. I agree. Especially off of Hicks there, with pretty electric stuff. We're able to string together a lot of good things there. So every game, every situation, every pitcher, how you're feeling that night all kind of goes into that. But I don't think there's necessarily a conscious thing that I'm not trying to drive the ball but there's certain little situations that come up where that definitely comes into play.
But those innings have been fun to watch. Obviously, you're bashing a lot of home runs, but I do think between the margins, between the homers, there's really good team ball being played when the lineup is clicking. That has been enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we got a lot of really capable players that are, and a lot of guys that are contributing a lot, and that's been cool.
Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Let's talk some numbers. Traditional in-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session, which adds up fast. But with BetterHelp Online Therapy, you can save, on average, up to 50% per session. With BetterHelp, you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions, saving you big on cost and time. Your mental health is worth it, and now it's within reach. Therapy isn't just for major life curveballs. It teaches you to set boundaries like a pro, become the MVP of your own life. It's like having a personal coach to spot winning traits in others and develop them yourself. BetterHelp makes this process as easy as watching the game from your couch. They've helped over 5 million people worldwide. They're knocking mental health goals out of the park with their 30,000 therapists. Your well-being is worth it. Visit BetterHelp.com/Yanks to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Yanks. Hey, the Max Fried start in Detroit. Again, a little fan side of this. The games get moved up. They're day games during the week. It's freezing, and we're like, are we going to get swept in Detroit? Like, it's not what you want, as a former manager used to say. Max Fried, the new Yankee ace, shows up, and he shoved. And he looked awesome. He's a beautiful pitcher to watch because of the big curve and lefty. There's something about that. Is there something from your guys' perspective that you see? Do you see a different Max Fried show up to the park that day? Like, you see him game 2. You've seen him in spring training. But, that's the stopper. That's been a thing for years with any baseball team.
Yeah, I don't think I see anything different. He's really consistent with who he is. He's fairly approachable and easy to talk to, like on his game day, much like he is, when on the days he's not pitching. He's very competitive. That definitely comes across. But he's also not, not easy to communicate, even in game in those games. So I don't think he changes a lot. I think he loves taking the ball. I think he loves competing. And that's kind of what we've seen. And that outing was really impressive. You always hate to say, oh, we needed that one. But, that's one of those, like you said, you don't want to get swept there. And he goes out and absolutely dominates for 7 innings, to set us up to, kind of salvage a series, salvage a road trip. And, that's what he's capable of. It was an impressive outing. It's just one of those, you watch from the side, it's just watching as a former hitter, I always look at him and go, man, he'd be tough. Hard to get a beat on, hard to know what's coming, and it's really good stuff, and it's moving all over the place. But definitely if you want to call it a statement outing or whatever, it was pretty impressive.
I like seeing him in the turtleneck because that reminds me.
Yeah, the old school turtleneck going.
Rodon with no sleeves on the night before. The cold management seems crazy to me. It's
all over.
It's just all over the place. Yeah. A quick note on the team hitting that just want to share with the listeners. The Yankees are the best 2-strike hitting team right now, highest OPS. It does feel like there's a good sense of that and grind it down and make people work. So I like that. But I want to stay on Rodon and the pitching. Before Garrett Cole's Cy Young year, right? When Garrett Cole won the Cy Young in 2022, was that? 3?
Yeah.
He said a big thing that he worked on, and we had talked to you about this, was not letting things unravel. Like the season before that, something would go wrong and it would go into it, and you could see him unravel. When Rodon didn't like that strike call in Detroit, the announcers, because they were the Chicago announcers, Benetti and them, they say on their broadcast, this usually means there's an unraveling that happened. We've seen this when he was there. And as a fan, when that grounder comes up,
Detroit.
Yes, but they were the White Sox announcers.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Right.
So we saw this in Detroit, and they before anything else happens, and then it's a 3-run homer. So they kind of were on that for Rodon. There's a slow ground ball. It's a hit, and then a walk after that, and then a 3-run homer. So 2 innings where kind of something didn't go right, and that's how I feel watching. Or I think some fans are like, oh man, if one thing goes wrong, it almost feels like there's an unraveling. Is that the next lesson or next thing for him to tackle like Cole did? Do you see that as an issue?
Well, have you looked into the times where that's happened and he's got out of it, or just you going with it feels like?
No, I'm going with it feels like, and then I'm giving you the floor to correct me or agree with me.
Yeah. So going back to the Detroit, I think he struck out the next batter and pulled the changeup down and in that Ibanez hit out. So did it compile? I don't know. I do think Carlos, since he's been here, has really moved the needle a lot in that regard. I think we saw it in the playoffs last year. He came out, I thought, grew a lot in the playoffs, and I think that served him well. Even going into this year, like an opening day where there's a lot of emotions, I thought he handled all that really, really well, was really in control. But there's always those little next levels too that, you always want to keep getting better at. So the way I look at all of this is the baseline of this is Carlos is throwing the ball really, really well. He's in a really good place. He's had 2 pitches, bad pitch to Lee, hanger, 3-run homer, the pull down and in changeup to Ibanez, have now created noisy outings in 2 outings where he's in a lot of ways been dominant.
Yeah, he leads the league in walks, so that's the other.
So and that's one of the things we got to. The walks have been that's where he's got to move the needle right now. But I think it's really important to say that we're not trying to get this guy that's not good or not throwing the ball real well right. Like it's just that next level of execution in different spots, and then getting a little fortunate. Like they don't always hit a homer because you make a mistake, you know. And so, you know, limited the walks a little bit, and then just that next level of execution. I feel like he's that close to hopefully running off 6 really, really good ones in a row. You know, like that's how close he is here. So, but, you know, did that affect, you know, his pitch in Detroit or the pitch to Lee? I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. I think he has grown a lot in that. Like when I go back to last year, I think of the playoff game against Kansas City where he came out on fire, strikes out the side, is very emotional and fired up. And I think that bled into his outing a little bit. Like it's hard to maintain that level as a starting pitcher of intensity, you know, of kind of that hair on fire. And I think he took that the rest of the playoffs with him, and I think it served him well. So I think he's grown a lot in those regards. And so, I mean, we'll just, you know, I'm looking forward to his next one where, you know, hopefully he goes out and continues to throw the ball well, and then, you know, make those couple of key pitches in a game. The execution's there.
Have you guys considered when Stroman comes back and is pitching again, matching him up with whatever umpire gives that side of the plate? Because I think it would be a match made in heaven. You
How
find
does that work?
I don't know. There's numbers for everything. You guys got it. You find the umpire that gives.
We're
this
gonna
side.
go throw on the 6th day. You're gonna go on the 4th day.
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Hey, Don Larson found a ball in his shoe. Perfect game.
Come on, keep it moving.
Well, I guess while we're here, I've seen a lot of stuff on the internet. I've never seen a 27-year-old Bohemian guy keep biting a 65-year-old man. What's going on with Jazz and Pat Roessler?
I just saw that for the first time last night. I didn't know about that.
Okay, I mean, I don't.
Kind of funny. Kind of funny.
This is happening under your house. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah,
Do you think you're free from it? Is Brad free? Is it just a Pat? You know, what if he starts biting everyone?
I don't think he'll start biting.
Okay. Could become the team thing. Players bite the coaches.
I don't know. I'll let that go between Jazz and Six. They have their little thing there.
What are we calling him? 6?
Yeah, Pat Roessler's not Pat Roessler. He's 6.
Okay, these are the things we're trying to find. This is why we're doing this, Boone.
Yeah,
6.
Okay, 6. Okay.
What's
Got
Brad's?
It's not Pat Roessler. It's Pat Roessler.
Roessler, excuse me.
What's Brad's nickname?
Sumswall.
Wow.
Whoa. That's
Or Blanche.
Blanche?
Yeah. Although everyone's Blanche these days.
Wow.
We digress. Let's keep it moving.
All right.
Is Adam Ottavino just lurking around somewhere?
No.
Okay. Just, again, doing our job as reporters here.
Only other thing that we should just let you or talk about is Ben Rice. I have one request. Don't let him have like a glow up. I like the boyish charm and excitement that he brings when he runs around. So I just don't.
Blow up.
Yeah, like, you know,
Blow
you see
up.
guys in their rookie season, and then 3 years later, they got a fade and brand new
Fake
teeth and you know, the chains and all that. But I like his boyish charm. You know, DJ LeMahieu, he never had a glow up. He was DJ the whole way. I'd like to contain Ben Rice.
Yeah.
No, he's just been a blast to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
his smile, they talked about in the broadcast, he can't hide who he is. So like his energy in the dugout's been fun.
Yeah.
I know you're going to say you knew he had this in him, but this is pretty good. I mean, this is 5 home runs now, 16 games.
What do you, 10 or 12 walks?
Yeah.
It's good AB.
No complaints about this, but it is bizarre that Wells left camp as the leadoff guy, led off one game, hit a homer, and hasn't done it since. Again, things are going fine, but that's a little odd.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it kind of speaks to Ben Rice and just kind of, and there's been a lot of, you know, moments for like Goldie to leave. Like I almost let Goldie off tonight with Waka, but kind of decided to keep it more the same.
Goldie's been great as well. Anything else, Jake? We got trivia. Judge World. Ooh, might have spoiled trivia.
Little teaser.
Damn.
We'll get you to Trivia, Booney. It's presented by T-Mobile. Get the best 5G coverage in the game with T-Mobile. Aaron Judge was named captain yet again, this time of Team USA for next year's World Baseball Classic. You only had one player who was a Team USA guy in 2023. Do you remember who that was? This is a slightly tricky one. I will admit that.
The home run stroker.
It sure was. Higgy, man, what a baseball life for Higgy.
Yeah.
Team USA, he got the contract, and he's still after it every day, man. The best.
He is.
All right. Anything else, Jim?
You want to guess the lineup? We got a lot of hints. We got a lot of hints given our way.
Volpe's defense looks better. That's not really a question, but I'm surprised. Some of it's very natural. Like
Better?
yes.
He's saying that as a compliment. Like even
No, I know.
better. Yeah.
Like the reactional plays at shortstop, like stuff. I don't think it's not footwork. It's not getting your throwing motion down. Like some of the reactional plays he's had at short this year, I think are even a step up. And yeah, I'm trying to say that in a nice way. No question.
I have a question if we got time, or we can save this. On relay throws, there is a difference in arm speed between Volpe and Jazz, and that's a
We
compliment.
call that arm strength.
Arm strength. Yes, arm strength. When Carlos Correa was on the Astros at shortstop, he was the cut from all three outfielders because he has a bazooka of an arm. And that was just something we were watching relays. If there's anything there where,
No,
say, Jazz, like, or outfielders try to hit Jazz if it's a
no,
relay
but
throw.
Jazz obviously we don't have Volpe override him on certain ones, but I feel good about getting in both of their hands in
Okay.
different ways.
Rice, Judge, Wells, Goldie, Jazz, Volpe, no, Belly's going to play. So Rice, Judge, Belly, Goldie, Wells? No, because then Jazz has been Wells kind of is seventh or third. It's
Yeah.
Rice, Judge, Belly, Goldie, Jazz, Volpe, Wells, Dominguez, Peraza.
Ding, ding, ding.
Nice.
Well done.
Awesome. All right, let's go win a series. Sounds fun.
So,
Thanks,
see you
Booney.
guys.
See ya.
See you, Skip. DraftKings, they say baseball is a marathon, not a sprint, and that's great news for us because there are so many games during this baseball season to get in on the action with our partners at the DraftKings Sportsbook. From every game day until the day the champagne bottles pops and the trophy is lifted, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same-game parlays, odds boost, and so much more. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you use code JMBaseball. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use code JMBaseball. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. JMBaseball only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
The crown is yours. There you go, bantering with Boone. We had to skip a week, so there were some things we had to cover. Bone broth, cold weather, Grichuk. I'm glad he said he thought of me when
Yeah.
Grichuk hit that double, because who didn't?
Tried
You
to
know?
tell him.
I can only warn you.
Lead a horse to water.
Fucking Grichuk.
What else did we learn?
That he knows when you tweet out about the pitchers walking people, which I was doing last night,
Right.
the response is, well, yeah, no one throws hard, so they can't be in the zone because the pitching staff doesn't have that skill.
Right.
And Boone, in a less negative and aggressive way, echoed that sentiment. Like, yeah, we don't have pure fastball pitchers,
Yeah.
so we have to nibble. So it seems like I don't know how it gets fixed. It seems like what's the term we always use? Like roster or employee, or the words that it's
The words that we would use here.
Yeah. Personnel issue.
Okay.
Seemed more of a personnel issue. Like, I don't know if you can coach that out.
Well, I think the one guy who it's kind of not is Rodon, that we've talked about his walks, and Boone was pretty honest. He's like, he's like, even if you think I'm doing Boone speak right now, he didn't say those words, but, he genuinely thinks Rodon's throwing the ball well, and there is an argument, his last start especially, he was, except for one pitch, which the problem is they used that excuse the game before, and that wasn't fully true. But for Rodon, the walks are elevated this year where, hey, I mean, Stroman going on the IL because was one of the walk culprits. Will Warren, a little scared. We saw some development his last time out. But, I guess Rodon's the one you circle that it's like, hey, if every now and then if you're a four-seam fastball guy, you're going to give up the home run ball. But Rodon shouldn't be walking, guys. So hopefully that's the one that changes. And, dude, Stroman's walk per 9 innings was near 7, so him being on the IL for a little bit.
Yeah, it is kind of spread out. Devin Williams is there. I think Hamilton in his short stints has just been walking guys. So it's kind of a bummer. Ottavino was
Yogo's cooking the books a little bit too. Yogo with 8 walks in 7 innings.
10 per 9 for Yogo, 10 per 9 for Devin, 12 per 9 for Hamilton, Stroman, Weaver, 5. Even Weaver walked a guy yesterday. And then Jonathan India fought him really hard.
Yeah, good.
Ends up getting him out. Katie, my wife, was watching with me, and she saw Weaver walk off the mound, and she was like, he's upset. And I was like, yeah, he's fucking awesome. I said, my boyfriend's coming in, so just be cool because I got to watch this game. So...
Interesting.
With Rodon, Boone was doing the thing where he kind of agrees with me, but tries to come at it from a different angle. My point was, the next hurdle seems to be a mental hurdle, like Cole took and admitted to.
Yeah.
And he was saying, like, it's not like we got to work on his stuff, or it's not like we're building him up. I'm like, which is what I was saying. Like, his stuff is there to get guys out.
Yeah.
Like all the pitches, the pitch mix, like there's enough there. The next step is completing a game.
Yeah, he admitted to the postseason ran way too hot game, which that's good, and I don't know if we had that. And then, for this year, again, Rodon did look pretty damn good the other day, but also starting pitching, Kyle Gibson was on an episode of Talkin Baseball this offseason, and Gibby was like, dude, if you take out my 3 worst starts every year, I'm amazing. And we're talking one pitch. Like, this is part of the deal.
Yeah.
It's part of the deal.
Cookie Carrasco now.
Yep.
It's a big start.
It's good.
ERA and starts down to 4.91.
Sure. Him and Rodon also tied for most home runs allowed. So let's work on that, too.
Well, that one Cookie game. This was a very important Carrasco game, because do you remember how bad the game before was?
Yes.
Where, I had my flag all the way up. I was like, ooh,
right.
I don't know if this is a thing. All right, next up, we're talking beards.
We are, and it's with American Crew. Today's episode of Talkin' Yanks is brought to you by American Crew. Just like you need the right gear in sports, you need the right gear for your hair. We have teamed up with American Crew, the champions in men's grooming, to help you style like a pro. I think I'm getting a haircut. I don't know if there's any spoilers with this. Getting styled with these guys and Justin Pennick tomorrow. They've got forming cream. Gives you the freedom to remodel your hair throughout the day. Bang! For those looking for robust control with the shine, the fiber puck is your MVP, Jim. And the pomade puck for that slick back look. That's the BBD lane. Smooth control, glossy finish, especially if your hair has denser curls and higher texture. Ideal for those occasions when winning isn't just an option, it's a necessity. That's Yankees hair stuff. Grab your style essentials, ensure your hair always scores high, no matter the play. Whether you're fielding tough questions or tackling a busy schedule, American Crew has you covered. Score your own grooming goals and grab these on Amazon. Style like a pro, look like a champ. American Crew.
Okay, so here's
I
the
have some
thing.
examples for you.
Dominguez beard yesterday. They just got back from a road trip.
Right.
and they all got diced up.
Yeah.
And they looked better. Like Dominguez beard in this picture that we have right here, I'm not a fan, but his beard yesterday in the game was real nice.
Dominguez was real tight yesterday. It's a lot, like the whole Dominguez look that we've talked about, from the ears to the hair to everything. Amazing post-game press conference yesterday. Again,
Damn, I didn't get to watch it. What was it?
Giving credit where credit's due, like his did the whole thing in English, which again, not doing that as like, yeah, damn right, doing that as a, like, that's so impressive. He's 22 and a baseball player, and he was being his personality. Like, there's a lot of times I talked about Glaber, and you could see Glaber thinking and wanting to say the right thing, which, you know, again, not shots fired at Glaber, but Dominguez was being like the happy little Martian, and he looked good doing it.
Can you play that clip for me, Beeb? It's only 15 seconds, but I just want a flavor of what I missed after the game. I watched Boone, and then I think I went to bed.
Boone.
You stayed up for the stadium.
Yeah, stadium debut. Pretty cool. A lot of wire in the stadium.
I could only imagine. Well, we've seen it too.
Talked to you a lot about playing left field and the defense. How validating is it for you to just make a play like that out there?
I mean, for myself, after I make that play, it feels pretty good because, you know, I've been working every day with Rojas. Very consistent work, and it's showing out.
Did it add to it when you got back to the dugout? It seemed like all your teammates recognized that.
Oh, for sure. They were more happy than me.
We've talked to you a lot.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. With every game, I mean, the more reps that I take, it feels more natural.
Who's that guy lurking behind him? Did you see that?
EB. One of my favorites. Yeah, I like that. So we got to choose our best facial hair?
Favorite on the team.
I mean, there's also categories we can do, like Jazz and Max Fried have the same facial hair. I don't know if people know that.
Wow.
But currently they're rocking the same thing.
I mean, tell our socials team to do like a face mash of that or something, because that's important. That's kind of what we're here to do.
Get that side by side.
Yogo's so far out in the nicest way. We talked about it. It feels like a video game. Create a player, put a beard on them, like tight beard.
I actually don't know what Max Fried has been rocking for the Yanks.
Little.
But
I think the same
for
as what he
like
had.
this photo of Jazz on that play yesterday, which maybe I'd love to watch that with you again because
Right.
that was a wild play.
Yeah.
But he's got the mustache and the chin hair. I call it the Orlando Bloom,
Right.
but they both have it.
Congrats to his wife Katie going to space.
I take away my congrats. I don't want to
Okay.
be part of that. Congrats.
Okay.
I haven't looked into it enough. Seems nuts.
Yeah, I feel like Max's mustache was a little more prominent.
Well, yeah, but it's also
Right.
there's more contrast.
Mark Leiter Jr.'s goatee.
Now that's in a category of its own,
That's in a category of its own.
and no one else is rocking that on the team, and that would go into the retro.
It's retro.
That's yesteryear.
That's, yes. That guy shared the bullpen with Tanyan Sturts.
I mean, if we're talking bullpen, if we're talking like apropos, this might be number one.
Oh.
Like if you tell me Mark Leiter Jr. has to do facial hair, what should he do? And I'm like, well,
Right.
let's think about who he is. For a professional athlete, a little more on the
This is the best match
portly side, a reliever. For a professional athlete,
for a professional athlete.
that's the best match. Yogos and Pablo Reyes are easily my least favorite. Pablo Reyes is rocking the Amish,
Right.
just all beard, no mustache, which I think is a crazy look.
Story Ellie in some other cultures.
Yes, but you can't do the fullness of it.
Underbeard.
I
I think if we're doing
Trent and Wellesley, same thing.
Right.
I don't know if you know that.
right,
Yeah, see? That's actually the best it's looked.
And it looks like the fresh version of it.
Rodon is in search of hair plugs on the cheeks. There's just some bareness there.
Yeah, I
He
guess
wishes it was more full.
Rodon versus Devin Williams is kind of the two alpha beards.
No, Rodon does not have an alpha beard.
Well, that's what I'm saying of the people on this list. And yeah, I think Devin Williams wins that. And yeah, I mean, he's the guy that's always going to be credited for this. And I didn't love, again, just a reminder, how rude the internet was to Devin for a day when he did show up shaved. I'll always feel bad for him. That was crazy.
He almost quit baseball.
That was crazy.
I like Rodon's, but I just wish it came in more in the cheeks. He probably does too.
Sure.
Trent's mustache made me laugh yesterday because, like I said, everyone got groomed up and tidied up.
Right.
His was it's just getting bushier.
I'm going to ask a question.
It's almost like Andy Reid, almost. Like he might let it get to Andy Reid level mustache.
I'm going to ask a question.
Yeah.
Are you a Trent Grisham fan?
Yeah.
I am too. No batting gloves. He doesn't shave.
Yeah, but why did he celebrate?
Because it's a little nuts. I mean, dude, the broadcast, like, Coney was, they were like, how many times did we see him swing at a first pitch last year? He's like, I could count on my hand. So, yeah, Trent, I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know if it's, maybe he entered just another level of not care. Of like, you know, he hit the level of not care, like, I'll see some pitches. Let's see what happens.
What was
he's like,
what was his home run in the list of home runs that inning?
His home run in the list of home runs was first.
When him
Trent flipped the lineup. Rice, Wells 3.
So I don't get it. If it was like second or third,
Oh.
he might have been celebrating.
They gave them the lead.
He might have been celebrating. Look at all of us.
Gave him the lead.
Like it was a team celebration. No, I have really enjoyed Trent. That's the funny thing about winning and losing,
Right.
and performing well and performing not
Right.
well. When you play with what he plays with, like his outfield, he barely puts his hand up until the ball is like right next to him. And if you miss it, that looks bad.
Looks bad. Catch it. It's okay.
Yeah. My favorite, I thought Jason Dominguez's yesterday was the best.
Just show him again and zoom in on him and Eric Boland. And I think that's where we need to land the ship today.
Jazz's reaction to that play was really good.
Look at those two guys.
See it's really nice fade on the side there.
Well, if you could see the eyebrow matches up with the side fade. The cat scratch keeps going. Yeah. That's the real stuff.
What inning was that Jazz play? Like the 8th?
Which player are you talking about?
When he threw it to Weaver.
Oh. Yes.
And then he made that face. Like.
Right. Like, come on, guys.
Like who do I throw?
Someone cover first.
Yeah, he did that. Oh, they cut it off. Watch how weird that is, though.
I thought Goldie should have had it, but
Me too.
when the weave's coming, you know?
It's almost like Goldie was like, hey, I'll get out of your way, Luke. I don't know if you can see this.
Good there.
At this point, look at Jazz. He's like, who do I?
Right.
He's looking up, searching at this point. And then Goldie peels off. I guess he just split the gap.
Yeah, I wonder what the baseball or Yankee rules there are. Because, like, Goldschmidt clearly, you'd think the first baseman would have priority. For a second, it's 50-50. If not, Goldschmidt with the lead.
Yeah,
but maybe it's just like if
Weaver's got eyes on him the whole time.
If the pitcher's there and he's facing the right way, like, yeah, there's got to be something there because both of them handled that pretty well.
Yeah, and they barely got him out.
Tight play.
Just watching it now, it was really close. All right, and good job by Weaver, and won the show there. Go Yanks, tell him Grams.
Go Yankees.
We'll end the show there.
Way to go, Luke Weaver. I can't end the show there. It's really good.
End the show there.
Let's go Yankees.
Very clever.
What movie is that from? Comment below.